It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Well, it's time for my Halloween special. And to get into that Halloween spirit, I decided to wear a costume. I dressed up like a copycat analyst. You know, in the Document Imaging channel, those friends of mine that sell supply and service print equipment, most of the analysts are copycats, so I figured I'd dress up like one of them. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm really excited about my Halloween special. I went out to the marketplace. I said, send me some questions. Folks, some of these questions are pretty scary. I'm going to ask the questions. I'm going to answer those questions. And hopefully, maybe we can scare some sense into people. You know, some people might get really scared and change directions. Who knows? But the whole goal of getting people scared is to make people better. And I like to scare the hell out of people. And I'm thinking to myself, what better time to do that than Halloween? So without any further ado, let's jump on the Sharp Interactive board and let's start looking at these questions and giving some answers. The first question up, is the word copier being considered as the description explaining obsolete in the 2023 Wikipedia publication? What a great question. I mean, I'm thinking absolutely. I mean, we all know that copiers are pretty much obsolete, right? And why not have a picture next to the word obsolete? And that would really describe what obsolete is. But I'm thinking a lot about a lot of my friends. You know, you drive down the highway and you see those billboards and they're selling copy machines on the billboards. And a lot of people are looking at those billboards, especially the younger people. They're like, what the hell is that? What's a copier business, mom and dad? And of course, then the mom and dad's got to explain to them, well, it's just a business that's not quite ready to accept the fact that nobody wants to copy or print. They should be transitioning into other services, but they're not. I would imagine sooner or later that sign will be down anyway, so don't pay too much attention to it. Well, that's some pretty scary stuff, isn't it, folks? Man, it's pretty scary stuff. Is Michael Myers to become the HP dealer channels manager? Holy smokes, let me read this again. Is Michael Myers to become the HP dealer channels manager? Well, you know, who is Michael Myers? Oh, Michael Myers is that guy that murders people. He's been doing it for like decades. Stabs them, you know, stabs teenagers and stuff where they're in these little camps. And I mean, he's a killer. He's like a killer. And I'm thinking to myself, once HP gets all the dealer's data, the only thing left for them to do is to go ahead and kill the dealer. I think Michael Myers could be a great candidate for that. So I'm thinking that's probably a reality. Yes, I think Michael Myers will absolutely become the new HP dealer channels manager. They just got a couple more, maybe a year or so left to get as much of that dealer data as they can before they decide to go ahead and kill off the dealers. Interesting. Is the MPSA concerned that no one cares about managing print? Well, this is an interesting question. And I would have to say, no, they don't give a crap. I mean, seriously, folks, the MPSA is just a club. It's a club where people hang out. You know, it's like the VFW club in your town, you know? Once we were warriors, we were trying to help people save money and do all these great things, and now we're just kind of hanging out. We like to talk about the past and stuff, but at the end of the day, we're not going to really drive any initiative to do anything different. As long as we can all talk and be friendly, we'll just keep the club alive. So I'm going to guess that the MPSA is not concerned at all that nobody cares about managing print. Because in all reality, let's be honest, that club's not really about end users. It's just about people hanging out, talking about things that make them feel good. Are any of the roll-ups on the edge of the cliff? Are any of the roll-ups on the edge of the cliff? This is an interesting question, and I got to tell you, I can visualize a roll-up being on the edge of the cliff. And the reason I say that is because you just got to go on the social media platforms and you look at what the roll-ups are talking about. Because, you know, the roll-ups, they were supposed to be putting other products and services inside those accounts. Those investors were saying, hey, you got all these customers, you're buying up all this print that's declining. I hope you're going to do something different. And then, you know, the roll-ups have to do something different. But if you go on social media and you look at their leaders and the pure nonsense they're talking about, and they don't really have any direction, and you go to the websites and it's just a bunch of crap, and you don't really get a warm fuzzy that they're actually, you know, doing anything relevant, it kind of makes you think. I mean, you can visualize them being on the edge of the cliff. Yeah, that's a good way to tell. And I would say that there's probably one or two that I can visualize on the edge of the cliff. Are the industry's media and analysts blind? Well, you know, that's a great question. I'll tell you, they can't see what's in front of them. And I'm not sure if they're blind or just, you know, really nearsighted. I mean, they don't seem to be able to see far away. They don't really seem to have any vision. They seem to be, well, they kind of seem to be tripping over what's right in front of them. And they don't really know how to articulate anything to really help the industry. I mean, it just seems like they talk about a lot of stuff that's, you know, I don't know, it's not really doing much to help drive initiatives in the industry. I think a lot of them are probably too focused, you know, on helping the OEMs. They're not really focused on helping the dealers, and there's a difference there. And I would say that I'm thinking a lot of them, if they're not blind, maybe they just got their eyes closed. Is there a warehouse in Arizona full of workplace hubs, thermostat machines, electrical vehicle charging stations, failed ERPs, and other products dealers couldn't sell or use? What a fantastic question. You know, I would say this, that a lot of times things like to go back to die where they were born. So the question is, you know, was there a failed ERP that was ever kicked off on a stage in Arizona? Was the workplace hub ever kicked off on a stage in Arizona? Electrical vehicle charging stations, the thermostats, I mean, because if they were kicked off on a stage in Arizona, they're probably going to go back there and die. So there probably is a warehouse full of obsolete products that people just couldn't sell or found no value in. That could be the reality. Very good question there. Does fog mean friends of golf or floundering old guys? Wow. You know, you see a lot of the old timers in our industry wearing golf shirts, you know, talking about golf sometimes. And I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking it's probably floundering old guys. Because the friends that golf, I mean, everybody's a friend to golf. I mean, if you're in our industry, you like golf. So I'm thinking it probably stands for floundering old guys. And, you know, maybe they wear golf clothes or golf attire sometimes. But, you know, whenever they post stuff, when they're wearing the golf clothes, it doesn't really help the dealers maintain any kind of relevance. I mean, they might talk about stuff they learned on the golf course, but if they don't tell you what they actually learned, it's kind of irrelevant. Who cares? So I got to say that I'm thinking that fog means floundering old guys. Wow, these are some really, really good questions. Should Frank Kanata give HP Amplify an award for being the most overreaching OEM? Wow. Well, you know, Frank Kanata gives the awards to the OEMs. And we also know that HP Amplify agreement, I mean, a lot of people think is the absolute worst contract from an OEM in the history of the industry. And I'm thinking not only should Frank Kanata give him an award to the most overreaching OEM in the world with the most obnoxious contract considered by many, I think they should give him like a really big trophy for that. So people realize that this is absolutely the worst agreement the dealers have ever seen in their life. And I think that's only fair, and I'm not sure if Frank will do that or not. I mean, there's a rumor out there that Frank Kanata and the Kanata Report kind of help the HP Amplify marketing department, so it might be kind of, I don't know if he wants to give them an award saying they're the worst contract in the industry's history. But it's a pretty scary thought anyway. Are dealers afraid of e-commerce because they were overcharged when they bought something from Seniors Apparel on Facebook? Well, what a great question this is. And I got to tell you that a lot of these old folks, I mean, they don't get it. You know, one thing that's going on over at Amazon right now, every time they hear someone in the document image channel talk about why they shouldn't have e-commerce, they ring a bell and they say, God, we're selling so much print equipment. I hope these dumbasses never, ever get into e-commerce. And folks, you know, that's just, we got to get Amazon not to be saying that about us. So we got to move into e-commerce. And I'm thinking, yes, I'm thinking a lot of seniors probably went over to Facebook. They bought some senior apparel. You know, maybe they got charged wrong or something. They got all upset about it, or they tried to return the shirt because they were over optimistic in their size. They forgot they gained the COVID weight. And they're probably mad because they didn't take it back. And then they start thinking, oh, if we start selling a printer online, and what if we sell the customer the wrong size? What if we overspec and oversell them online? Or how could we overspec and oversell them online? They're going to want them out of small. So there's just so many things that go with it. They talk themselves out of it. But in all reality, the folks over at Amazon are loving it. And we need to tell Amazon, you know, kiss our butt. We're going to get online and beat you. Yeah, that's never going to happen. Folks, I hope you enjoyed my Halloween special. Some scary stuff out there. But if we all stay focused and we're willing to fight, guess what? We'll maintain that continuous relevance. Have a fantastic Halloween, my friends, because everybody watching me knows this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all tomorrow.